Hi guys, welcome back to Life in My 20s, where we talk about life in our 20s unedited. Today I want to talk about something that's just been on my mind, and I was talking about someone over on TikTok about what words? I don't know. If you see my mess behind me, no you don't. Okay, just pretend it's not there. Also, candy of the day. These Jolly Rancher Chewy Poppers are literally addictive. I can't decide if I recommend or not because you will like eat half the bag in one sitting. My mouth is literally watering thinking about them. Anyway, today I want to talk about worrying about the future. Me? Please. I don't even do that. I do. Okay, I have to confess because this just feels too unnatural. I do have a filming light behind you because the lighting was so atrocious, and I was like, man, I should just use a light. It was literally sitting right there because I use it for my makeup, but now it just feels too profesh for me. I don't know. We're just gonna do it for this video. Damn it, all hands. We're just gonna do it for this video. Might not ever do it again. I feel like I have to point that out. So what we were talking about, let me just preface where I'm at right now. I'm at a point in my life where I'm in college and I work in an internship, and there's a lot of next steps and a lot of decisions that I have to make, like regarding what am I going to do for work and where am I going to go? Am I going to get another internship before I graduate? Where am I going to go when I graduate? And then when are we going to have kids, and what job am I going to have that I can also raise children? Because I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom, but I also don't want to only see my kids for like 2 or 3 hours a day. No shame to moms who do that. If I can help it, that's my goal, right? That is my want and my desire. And I have literally been stressing myself out so hard, you guys, about the future and what my next 10 steps are. And that's something about me that I've always done. And I think there's always two sides to everything, okay? I'm such a two sides kind of black and white girl. I've been talking about this with my therapist, that like I see things so black and white, and it's made me be really hard on myself. So we've been working on it. We've been working on finding the gray area. Some things are black and white, but some things there's a gray area. Like, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. So we've been talking about that. And the two sides to this coin is I am a really great planner. And in some aspects, that's a really great thing. Like if you're a good planner, that's a really great thing because you can visualize, you can see your future, you can plan it out, you can make goals for yourself. You're a really good visualizer and goal setter, and probably a great entrepreneur, probably a great creative person. Like, and that's the thing with creative people too. We are so like, and not all of us, but a lot of us, we have to be able to visualize and see the next 10 steps, because it's very rare that I start a project not knowing like the end goal in my head. But then there's also people that probably just go for it and their lives are probably so carefree. But then there's the other side of that coin where I'm constantly viewing everything 10, 12, 15 steps ahead. Whoa. I've also been stressing about paying for school. Holy crap. That's what brought this conversation up with the girl I was talking to on TikTok in my comment section. Because she was like, same, I just like worry so much about the future. And I was like, girl, me too. And I was like, why do we do that? And then I remembered what I have been telling myself. And the one thing I like about making these video diaries is that I go back and watch them sometimes, just sometimes, not a whole lot. But I'll be like, oh, what was I saying about that? And then I'll go back and watch and be like, oh yeah. Because we do this funny thing as humans, and we tend to just forget. We learn a lesson and we're like, it all clicks for us. We're like, never doing that again. I got it now. Like, I totally know how to respond next time. I totally got this figured out. We don't. Newsflash, none of us do. And if people say they do, they probably don't. Maybe they do. Maybe there's people that actually have their crap together, but that's not what we do here. But I feel like you're always changing. And that's the reality. Things are always changing. Things are always going the exact way that you thought they wouldn't go, or a way that you never even considered. Like, things always go wrong. Things always go great, too. I'm not saying everything turns out crappy. I'm just saying that the future is very unexpected. And you cannot ever pinpoint exactly what's going to happen. I feel like there's something that needs to be mentioned about this, too, about being a Christian, which is learning how to trust God with your future. Because there's so much freedom in that. I'm going to get back to my point and then we'll come back to that. The thing I have to keep telling myself is that I don't need to focus on the next 12 steps. I don't need to know them all. I don't need to know where this and that and the other is going to lead and go. And okay, another random point, sometimes we get a goal in mind and we love the goal more than we love the process to get there. And we're never going to reach that goal because we actually hate the process. Like, we actually hate the process. And the day in and day out of it, we really hate. But if we would flip-flop that and only focus on the next one step, we would stop focusing so much on the future and this idea of things that are right or wrong in our head and how they're going to turn out. And we would just do. But I think the mindset that is helping me have so much peace, and I think it's focusing on taking that next step. It's a one step. Like, it could be literally could be the smallest thing. Because guess what? After you take one step, you'll inevitably take another and another. That one step could be remembering to take the trash out when it's supposed to be taken out. It could be doing the dishes every single morning. It could be remembering to take your vitamins every single morning. It could be showing up to your job, your 9 to 5 every single day, even though you hate it. It could be something a little bit bigger. It could be whatever your next step is. And I think there's always a time and place for certain kinds of next steps. Sometimes it's small things like, man, I really need to get better at doing the dishes. My next step is I want to get better at doing the dishes. Or your next step could be like, at one point, 9 months ago, holy crap, no way, maybe 9 months ago, my next step was I want to go back to school. I want to go to college. And that's a very big next step, but I could focus on that next step. And then you can say, okay, well, what do I need to do to get there? Which is then you say, okay, what's my next step there? You focus on the one step. For me, it was studying math because I wasn't going to be able to pass that math test. Now I'm getting myself caught up because I'm like, well, then there's a goal with a lot of next steps. But we're just going to get that ADHD thought out of here for a second because I have a point. And I just think that when we focus on that next step, it all feels a little bit less daunting. And we allow ourselves the peace to slow down and do one thing at a time. And so for me right now, my next step is going back to school. I go back to school in 2 weeks. It's going to be a weird transition from summer without classes back into full-time college and my internship. And that's my next step. That's my next step. For creatives, having one next step is hard. I think it's okay to have a next step for each category of your life. You know what I mean? For my career, my next step is going back to school in the fall. And then it will be something else, you know. It'll be getting a 4.0 this semester or whatever. But then, like, in my creative life, my next step right now is to be consistent with video diaries because I have loved making these video diaries, no lie. No one watches them. I mean, some people do. See, I'm hating on myself right now. People do watch them. But my next step is, okay, I just want to, like, share my life more. I want to share my chronic illness journey over on TikTok. It's really hard to pick one next step. But I think I'm talking, like, big general life decisions, like, just focus on the next step. I don't know. Is this point wrong? Maybe I'm, like, catching myself, like, No, I think it's a good mindset to have. I don't think it's like a rock solid black and white situation where you can only focus on one thing at a time, because if you're ADHD like me, if you're creative like me, if you're all of the above like me, you're not going to pick one thing. You're not going to have one next step in your entire life. But just focus on one thing. Okay, in my morning routine, what's one thing I can do better? In my school, my work life, what's one thing I can do better? Can't count. So I think there's a lot of single steps we can take. But then what happens is we take one step, and then we take another, and then we take another. I think something that is really important to be mentioned is trusting God with our future. For me, like if I don't trust God with my future, it's so hard to only take one step and not worry about the rest, because I'm a freaking control freak, okay? God has saved me because he has taken control of things that I can't control. And God save me. Like, I want to grip onto things and take all the control of everything and do it my way. And God just sometimes is like, girl, we ain't doing it that way. That's not the way we're doing it. And I think that also comes with, we have to get out of this mindset that the way that we've imagined it in our heads is the only right way. Oh my gosh. I deal with so much wrongful expectation. I might have talked about this in another video, but I have strong expectations, and that can be really good. I'm really good at setting goals and reaching them. But it can also be really bad because I get really disappointed, because I have a perfect vision in my mind of exactly how things should go. I mean, I'm like on it, okay? And then it doesn't happen. We have to be okay with things not going exactly according to plan. And I think this goes hand in hand with trusting God, because, well, then you're like, well, how do I know it's going to happen? And I think that's the freedom of being a Christian too, is we can trust God to help us figure it out, to figure it out for us. Jesus, take the wheel. Carrie Underwood had it figured out, okay? Anyway, learning to let go of control is a whole nother ballgame, and that's not even what we're talking. Well, maybe it is what we're talking about. Just take one step at a time. There's no need to rush. It's like learning to fly or falling in love. That's what we're talking about. One step at a time. Whenever you are trying to run too fast, that's a good analogy. Whenever you're trying to race, when it's just a nice stroll, just one step at a time. I want you to hear my voice. Just take one step at a time. There's no need to rush. Just like that, with the southern accent and everything. So, anyway. Also, these are the best. I'm feeling extra ADHD tonight. Don't look at the hair stuck on it. Don't look at that. Watch. Right back to a cube. This is called a neato, and I think it's pretty neato. So anyway, I'm feeling so ADHD, and I think you can tell. So it's time for me to go. It's time for me to go to bed. Not go to bed. I gotta clean this room, but it's time for me to get off the video diary. And let me know what you think below. This is kind of a really chaotic one, to be honest. I'm feeling real. So, but that's just real, you know? Sometimes I think I need to, like, put myself in a box of, like, you have to be this way all the time. Guess what? No one's the same way all the time. Anyway, today is August 11th, and I knew that without having to look. Be proud. 2025, and it is, like, probably 9 p.m. I actually have no idea. Probably should check that out. And I'll see you guys later.